Hey guys, welcome to M&M Plants. Today's video is a little different video because of some concerns of a few people that I saw on Facebook and a few colleagues of mine. They were sharing that a lot of them, they like keeping peace lily in water, but a lot of time they end up killing it compared to when they keep it in soil as well. So definitely peace lily is one of those plants that you can keep in water. I have one in water as well and it's doing really good. So there are few do's and don'ts that I would like to share, especially when you keep a peace lily plant in water, and pretty much it is applicable to a lot of plants when you keep them in water and they are not in soil, because we cannot treat the plant exactly in the same way the way we treat them in soil. We cannot treat them in water. So let us see what those points are. Number one, when I keep a plant in water, I have to make sure that there is no fungal infection. To avoid any fungal infection, what I would do is I would try and not have any soil, any powder, any compost, anything in powdery form in the water, because if I have soil or any other component like organic compost or cow manure, bits and pieces, then that starts having fungal infection because it's staying there in water. You'll start having that bad smell. So whenever you shift a plant to water, you have to make sure that you clean it thoroughly. The roots should be properly visible. There should be no soil whatsoever, and it should be like only roots, white roots. That's when you should shift your plant to soil. Shift your plant to water. So if you have a look over here, there is a little bit of soil that you will see like bits and pieces, but I keep on cleaning it every now and then. But whatever soil is there, it's at that point where I'm not able to reach, so that is still fine. But otherwise, if you have a look, it's pretty much roots and no soil. So that is how my plant will stay healthy and will not develop any fungal infection in the roots. The second thing I want to share is that a lot of time I have seen people will add a lot of water when they keep their plants in water. That is not what you should be doing. The area from where the roots start, and like in the downward direction and in the upward direction when you have stem, so that border, the border where upward is the stem and downward is the root, that border is called the crown of the plant, and the water should always be below the crown area. That means it should not touch the crown area. So what you can do is, there is no need that all the roots should be in water. If 50% of the roots are in water, that is more than enough, because the roots still have access to water and they can absorb water whenever they need. So don't think that you have to put the plant entirely in water and you have to have the stems in water. If the stems they touch water, that's when the plant starts rotting up, and that's when there will be more of infection in the plant. The stems should always be dry. It is the roots that need water. So try and keep only 50% of the roots in water and not 100%. The next thing that I want to share is, whenever you keep roots in water, the water that you use, it should be normal tap water, not very hot water, not very cold water. Whenever we use very cold water, that's when the plant gets into shock, and obviously if you use hot water, that is going to kill your plant. So always check the water before you add, and try to change the water at least once in 2 weeks. I normally prefer changing it once in a week, but if that is too much work for you, you should definitely change it once in 2 weeks, but you should not keep the water stagnant for longer than 2 weeks. In summers, you will observe that the water evaporates very easily. So let's say in a week's time, you see that the water has evaporated a lot. So then there is no need to change the water like once in a week. What you can do is, you can simply have a can of water like this, and you'll simply add it from the top part. It is okay if you add water like this and little bit of water is added, that is also fine. But yes, try to change it again after a week or two, because you always want fresh water in the fresh water with the plant, so that there is no bad smell, there is no infection in the plant, and keeping it clean will always keep it healthy as well. Now, if you're keeping your peace lily in water, you have to make sure that it is not getting direct sun. I do not like giving direct sun to my peace lily. Yes, it loves a lot of indirect bright light and it is an indoor plant. I would not prefer keeping peace lily outdoors unless it's under shade, but I always keep it inside my house in an area where it gets indirect bright light throughout the day, but definitely no direct sun whatsoever, because if you give it direct sun, it can burn this plant immediately, especially when the roots are exposed to light, because normally roots, their tendency is to grow under soil, so they love that dark atmosphere. Now that you've exposed the roots to light, try not to give it direct sun at all. You can always keep stones, pebbles inside the vase that you have, or the glass vase, so that there is some support for your plant. But I feel that is again a little more work for me, because then I have to clean the pebbles and the stones every now and then. And in my case, what I did was, the vase that I selected was such that my plant is automatically getting that support, hence there was no need for me to put the stones and pebbles. So if you don't want to keep stones and pebbles and you still want to give a support to your plant, make sure your vase is something like this, where the plant gets support from all direction. Otherwise, if you have something like a fish bowl or something where there is a lot of space around the plant, and if you don't keep stones at the bottom, that's when the plant won't get that balance and support. Then you'll have to keep the stones and pebbles, but then make sure that whenever you change the water, you also clean your stones and pebbles, so that you avoid any sort of infection. The last thing I want to share is, I have done this mistake a few years ago and I killed my bamboo plant, and that's how I learned. Please do not add any fertilizer, whether it is solid or liquid fertilizer, when your plant is in water. If you add any fertilizer, I can bet on that you will kill your plant, because the roots are very sensitive. When the plant is in soil and you fertilize it, it's like diluted, because there's a lot of soil and the roots are not straight away exposed to the fertilizer. However, over here, when you add fertilizer in water, the roots straight away start absorbing the fertilizer, and that is too much heat for them, because of which you'll see that your leaves will burn and eventually your plant will die. So please don't do that mistake of adding any fertilizer. It is not needed. Water itself has a lot of minerals, which is enough for the plant to survive. It may not grow as fast as it will grow outside in soil, but still you can keep it. It would look nice, and it would give a good grace and look to your house as well, especially these green plants, and I love it growing them in water as well. So do try that. And if there is anything that is bothering you related to gardening, do put that in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to make a video on that topic, that content. If you've liked the content that I've shared today regarding Peace Lily, do consider subscribing this channel and becoming a part of this family, and also hit that like button if you like this video. With that, I'll take your leave, and I'll see you next time with another video. Bye for now.